Welcome to another Azure Guide video where hands-on learning is priority one. I'm an Azure Administrator, an Azure Security Engineer, as well as Azure Solutions Architect. We are going to perform the following tasks. Create a namespace named CKAD. Create a pod named pod1 with the image 2.3.5 and expose port 80. Create this pod in namespace CKAD. Verify the pod is running, if not fix. Retrieve the IP address of the pod. Run a temporary pod using BusyBox. Shell into it, run a wget against pod1. View the logs of pod1 and delete pod1 in the namespace CKAD. Hey, welcome to our first question of our CKAD series. The first task in our question is to create a namespace. So kubectl create a namespace CKAD, and there it is. If you want to view it, just make sure it's there. We can say kubectl get namespace, or we can be a little fancy, just say ns. So doing pretty good on our first question. All right, next part of the question is, in that CKAD namespace, create a pod. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my context to my new namespace so I don't forget to put all my objects there. So kubectl config set context current, and here our namespace will be equal to CKAD. All right, so now our current, now if I do a kubectl get pods, nothing. So we know we're going good. So all right, let's clear the screen. Now we want to create that pod. So we'll say kubectl run, and we're going to call it pod1. The image is equal to nginx. I think it's 2.3-5. You want to expose that to port 80, I believe. But I want to create a YAML file out of this statement. So I'm going to add the dry run equals client. Client means create the YAML on the local client. 0 YAML. And what's the name of that file? We're going to call it Q1 YAML. So if I typed everything correctly, we're going to get a YAML file with the image of nginx 2.3.5 on port 80. Excellent. So let me go look. I'm on Windows here and open with, and there we go. We got a nice little file there, exposing on port 80. So that could be a little difficult to remember if you're starting out, or you might forget a little syntax. So kubectl run -- help is your friend here. Is it 2 dashes or 1? Let's see. Well, kubectl, that's one fix. There we go. 2 dashes. And you can see here we have to get the run basic. Here's our port example, in case you would forget that what it looks like. You could add a label. And here's our dry run equals client. So pretty good little fresh memory right there. Let me clear my screen. Now we have the YAML for the pod, but we haven't created the pod. So we need to create the pod. So kubectl create /f, And I think we called it Q1 for question 1 YAML. God, CTL. I should create an alias, shouldn't I? Okay, looking pretty good there. Okay, pretty good so far. Next task is verify the pod is running. That sounds suspicious. Look at that. Image pull off. So, does anybody know what we could check, or the command we could check to see what's going on here? Say kubectl describe pod, and the name of the pod. I'd agree with you. And you can see here, they're a little cruel to us about the image to use. That's not a valid image. So let's go ahead and back to our YAML file. And change it to, does it say? It just says verify the pod is running. So I'm going to say Nginx, and that should pull the latest version. All right, so a lot of ways I could do this. I'm going to go ahead and delete existing pod. Because I think that's the cleanest thing to do. And I'm not going to use up and down arrows because I want to get quicker and quicker with the command syntax. kubectl-f. And notice I'm not using auto-completion because I believe I read in the FAQs for the CKAD exam, autocomplete is not available. kubectl/fq1, that should do it. kubectl create. All right, now let's do the, I might have lost connection to my, just a delay there, get pods. It's container creating, so that's a good sign. Still creating the container. I'm running on Minikube today, and it's running on a pretty old machine that I'm RDP to. Yeah, the machine might have rebooted on me. Let me go check on it. It might have, it's been off for a long time. I wonder if it went and got patches automatically. Let me go check. Okay, I'm not sure what was going on. Eventually, about 30 seconds later, it all came back. But I couldn't get my window to size properly. So I'll just start at this PowerShell ISE. And I think it's going to be better because now you see the commands and then the output. So we'll see how this goes here. But all right, so our pod is now running after that change of the image. So once to verify the pod is running, check. Task number 4, question 1, retrieve the IP address of the pod. Well, I think there's 2 ways to do that that I can think of. There might be others. kubectl get pods-o wide. I think that will give it to us. And there's the IP address. You can also do kubectl describe pod 1, and of course this is going to give you more info than you want, but there's the IP address. Oops. Oh, there you go. 172.17.04. So there we're good. So, but I like this one better. I'm going to do a clear screen here. I'm actually going to move this up a little bit. Get that IP address again. All right, so there it is. All right, run a temporary pod using the image BusyBox. Shell into it and get a wget against pod 1. So good. Okay, our next task at hand is run a temporary pod using the image BusyBox. Shell into and run wget. All right. And we're going to run wget against pod 1. So that makes sense. All right. So let's go ahead and kubectl run BusyBox image equals BusyBox. We want to remove it, make it interactive, and then we want to shell out to it. So that should run BusyBox, run a pod named BusyBox on that image. Remove it after we're done with it. Interactive, that should do it. All right, now they want to just wget on pod 1, which is our IP of 172.17.0.3. All right, so we're done there. And next step is view the logs of pod 1. That seems doable. kubectl logs pod 1. And there they are. Here's our wget right here that we just did. Looks like we're done. We're going to delete pod 1 and the namespace. So kubectl delete. Let's do /f and we'll do it via YAML. And delete the namespace. kubectl delete namespace CKAD. All right, excellent. Good job. That is question 1 of the CKAD. Question 1 of the series. Hope to see you back for question 2.